right. Hello, everybody. Let some people come in. I forgot to schedule this one, so I'm hoping that somebody joins, that people find their way. If not, it's okay. I'm still going to go, and we'll just post the replay. Right? So, hey Mel, how are you? So, I am Danae Dominic. I am a total life transformation coach, and today is day 3 of our total life transformation series. I pop up on here every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday at 10 a.m. Central Standard Time. So then that would be 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and then 10 minus 2, 8 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Welcome, everybody. Welcome. Thank you guys for joining me today. So with total life transformation, right? My whole goal in guiding you through the process of this coaching series is to help you to become the hero in your own story, help you to fulfill your life purpose, and to help you master your destiny. So today is day 3. And we are going to be talking about breaking the change cycle, okay? A lot of you may be familiar with the change cycle. It's basically when you decide to change and then all these different obstacles are thrown at you, and then you kind of just like throw your hands up and give up, and you go back to who you were before just to realize, hey, I don't like who I am in this moment, so let me start the change process again. And then again, the cycle repeats. So today we're going to talk about the steps in breaking the change cycle, and then how you're going to like show up for yourself. All right. So just a FYI, everything is constantly moving. Nothing stands still. It has been shown that even in the human body, all of our cells like will regenerate themselves like every 7 years, right? And even as you're listening to me right now, you're comprehending what I'm saying, and so your brain is also changing. All right. You cannot have a new experience without literally changing your mind or your life. And you cannot exist without continuous change and growth. Okay. So if any of this resonates with you, can you guys please give me some likes really quick? Make sure that you're sharing this live, and make sure that you guys go ahead and follow me so that you will be notified when I do come on live or if I post anything new on my page. So in order to make change, we are all required to make a choice. So if you choose to continue on with your life as you're currently living it, mediocre, you're living this mediocre life, you're in despair, you're allowing the external world to dictate what you do, or what you experience, or you can choose to create the life that you have been dreaming of, right? So you either stay the same or you change. You are the co-creator of your reality. You can make the change today. You can choose to make the change today, and you can start the process so that you are able to live the life that you've always wanted to live. All right? And so with understanding the change cycle, there's like 5 or 6 processes, 5 or 6 steps that you'll go through, right? The first one is called discontent. Now, first, let me just say, some of these cycles may sound oddly familiar to many of you who may have gone through something what do I want to say? Who may have gone through a pattern of wanting to change before, but you just couldn't. All right? For whatever reason, you were holding on to your old ways. You didn't know how to change, or you weren't sure that changing would even be, I guess, you didn't think that changing would even really be worth your while. Okay? So, there are many well-intentioned people who try to change their lives, but they get stuck repeating these cycles. And these are the cycles. So the first cycle is, and if you want to take notes, feel free to take notes, okay? The first cycle is discontent. This is where you are going through your life and then you become extremely upset about it or just unhappy. You're kind of like in this perpetual state of just hang in there, just stick it out. Everything's going to get better, but every day things get worse. Every day you're like, I got to get out. I got to break free. That song, I got to break free. That song just popped into my head. So if that resonates with you, then I'm speaking to you, right? You know, you're going through this life where you're just like, it's so mundane, or it's so boring, or I don't like that I have to live my life this particular way. It's not fulfilling me anymore. But you have just decided to tolerate your life, okay? You're ignoring how you're feeling. You're repressing any thoughts that are trying to get you to move forward. And that's because what's happened is you have become comfortable in your circumstances, okay? You may have been living the same humdrum life for like 20 years, so you're super familiar with it. You have certainty behind it. Remember yesterday we were talking about how the reason sometimes people do not change is because there is certainty in their day-to-day lifestyle, right? And so because of this certainty, because you're familiar now with your life, and you've become comfortable in it, now change in itself may feel a bit, you may feel a bit fearful, okay? And so that's one of the things that we have to let loose is fear, because fear really is not even real. It's a fugazi, you know. Fear is like just made up things in your head, like, well, what if it doesn't work? Or, you know, you can't do that. You're not creative enough. You're not talented enough. You're not strong enough for that. Like, it's just negative things that are in our minds that are keeping us from moving forward. So another part of the breaking of the change cycle is the breaking point. So eventually you get to a level of discontent in your life where you're just like, I can't deal with this anymore. You've reached a breaking point and you're either like extremely exhausted by how your life is, or some type of dramatic event occurs that triggers your desire to break free from the mediocrity of your life, right? So let me give you an example. I have a friend who lives in California, and she can't afford to live there, but she's afraid to move. She's afraid to move somewhere that could be more affordable because just of the lifestyle that she has created. And because of her kids and their lives and all of that. But she knows that she can't afford to live there. So something that happened that has been pushing her, and I've been telling her, like, just move. Something that has pushed her to actually really begin to think about it is she got in a really bad car accident. Her car was totaled, right? Now, although the insurance paid it out, they replaced the car, but then like within 2 weeks, her car was broken into. between all of that, she lost her job. Between all of that, she's had to apply for benefits. And between all of that, it really just seems like everything within her life has been going downhill, right? And I know, because I know her, right? We've been friends since we were little kids. I'm just like, well, this is like the universe trying to say to you, hey, it's time for you to make a change in your life. It's time for you to make a change in your environment. Just because you're used to something doesn't mean that it's good for you. Doesn't mean that, and it also doesn't mean that it's for you any longer, right? So that's like step number 2 is the breaking point. Step number 3 is decision. You make the decision that you are ready for change and declare that you are no longer going to tolerate the undesirable environment or situation that you're currently in, right? So you're going to take a step and you're going to make that necessary change. Thank you so much for the likes, Fabiola. You're going to step out and you're stepping out on faith that you're going to be able to change. You're stepping out on the faith that you have in yourself, and you are giving yourself a sense of hope, right? Now, step 4 is fear. Usually, shortly thereafter or immediately, or even while you're having the thought of change, and then you're also having this feeling of fear, right? Where you become anxious, you become uncomfortable with even the notion. You're like, oh my God, I cannot believe that I have decided to do this, right? Like some folks, and I've posted about this before, how I'm always so incredibly in awe of people who just wake up, after a series of events, but they wake up one morning and they're just like, I'm going to quit my job. And they just quit. And they just roll with whatever happens, right? They're like water. They flow with the situation. They flow with the experiences that they're having. But yeah, it's like they have no fear, right? So in the stage of fear, you become uncomfortable. You become anxious about the idea of changing. You may even doubt your decisions. You may be like, oh my God, why did I do that? I can't believe it. How am I going to make it? All these different things come into your mind, and you're just like, what should I do? Hey, Goldie. Hey, Natalie. Hey, girl. How are you? Miss Cupcake, how are you doing? Thank you for joining. Jeanette, Corey, thank you guys for joining. So you may begin to feel helpless. You may begin to feel empty. Okay, that is what fear is going to bring when you are going through the change cycle. And I want you guys to know that it's common. It's going to happen. You have to be solid in yourself and know that you can do it. Even if there's a part of you that's like, I can't do it. Overcome those thoughts, those limiting beliefs, and you're just going to stay positive, and you're just going to know, I could do this, I could do this, I could do this, I could do this, right? Number 5 is amnesia. This is where the fear grows so strong in you that you literally forget what your original thought was, what your original reason was for even making the change, and then you just kind of stop, right? You are so used to your old life that you're used to those feelings of negativity that you get every day that you were living it, right? You're used to it. You're comfortable. It's familiar. Plus, it's become a part of your identity. You have now become that victim, so to speak, within your own life, because it's just something that has been consistent, right? And you are resisting letting go. So you will temporarily forget why you even wanted to change so badly in the first place. It's kind of like It's kind of like knowing that you're allergic to vanilla ice cream. But it's like you randomly, right, get this allergy to vanilla ice cream. You've been eating it your whole life. Now you have an allergy to it. Now you can't eat it. But like one day after not eating it for so long, you're like, oh my God, I want some vanilla ice cream. And then you remember, oh my God, I'm allergic to it. It's kind of like that. I know that's not, but it is definitely, you know, the best that I can give you in this moment. But yeah, so the number 6 is backtracking. Most people will choose to go back to or stick with the item that they wish to change because you essentially talk yourself out of changing, which is so like sorry, interruptions on my phone. Which is so like sorry you guys, I lost my train of thought. You've talked yourself out of changing because it's easier to just stay the same. But again, if you stay the same, there's not going to be any type of growth or expansion in your life. There's no way that you can expect to have more or different if you don't put yourself in a position where you can get more and where you can have different. Okay? So you'll soon find yourself unhappy. There'll be discontent. There may be some pain. And then again, they'll start the cycle again where you're going through a breaking point. And this breaking point is going to be even more extreme and even more painful. See, so what happens is that you are being guided to change, right? Your higher self is coming down and you're like, and it's like, girl or fella, brother, man, it's time for change. It's time that we do something to get our lives back in order. It's time that we do something that is going to help us. It is time that we do something that puts us in alignment with our purpose, right? And you're like, okay. You start the process. You're like, oh, this is hard. I don't like this. So then you stop. And then the cycle begins again. And it's like, all right, well, you didn't listen the first time. So now this time, something more extreme is going to happen to you to put you in a position to where you want to change. And as long as you keep not moving forward with the cycle or with changing, then the whole change cycle itself just keeps repeating itself, and it just gets worse and it gets worse and it gets worse. And that's just how it is. Okay. I didn't write it. I didn't write this. I didn't write this story. It's just how things go. There is something beyond your physical person that is pushing you to change. And so if you are in a position or in that type of position currently right now, then I am here to help you get through that. So, the cycle will continue to happen until one of two things happens in your life. The first one is there's extreme pain. You get to the point where you just can't deal with it anymore, and you just go through the process of changing, and you transform and you become this great person, and you're like, oh my God, why did it take me so long? Why didn't I listen to my higher self? Why didn't I do what I was supposed to do, years ago? Why did I hold on to that fear? Why did I, talk myself out of doing what was right for me? And the second thing is you're going to have some self-honesty. You're really going to have this experience where it's truly humbling. And you're kind of looking at yourself trying to figure out, like, why am I so comfortable with these particular things? What happened to me in my childhood? What's going on? Am I doing the inner child work? Am I doing the shadow work? What happened to me in my past where I am just so comfortable with living this particular type of life? You may realize that you have a whole lot of fear that's been holding you back. It might be your self-limiting beliefs. It might just be because you, and this is weird, but you might just have solace in being unhappy. Again, it has become your identity. So if you can think back on what I was saying about the change cycle, is there anything that has impacted your life, right? Are you ready for the change cycle to stop? Or have you experienced change amnesia before, where, like I had previously said, it's a situation where you forget why you even wanted to change in the first place? So are you ready to be honest with yourself and figure out a way to no longer be dissatisfied with your life? So I want you to consider the following reasons why you may be allowing yourself to continue to fall in the victim of the change cycle. The first the first reason is super basic. You do not want to change. Like, you really just want to be who you are. And that's okay, because everyone's journey is different. Everyone is not here to is not what I want to say. Everyone is not here in this very moment. Everyone is not here to change immediately. There are people who are going to have to go through these change cycles. And once they are ready, then they'll move forward. But you don't want to change. That can be one of the reasons why you continue to fall victim to the change cycle. You like to appease people. Like, you may be a people pleaser. You don't want to really quit doing the things that you're doing, even though you know that it's potentially killing you, right? You know that it's bad for you to do. You know that the life that you're living is not right. You know that you're putting yourself in harm's way. You know that, all these different things that you know that you are so much better than the life that you're living right now, but you just don't want to change. You're used to it. You like it. The second one is you don't know what you want. You've never taken the opportunity to really sit down and think about what you truly want for your life, right? One visualization that I like to do is where I close my eyes, and you can do that now if you so choose to. But you can close your eyes and pretend like it's first thing in the morning and you're waking up. And when you wake up, what does your home or what does your bedroom look like? So when this visualization, you're visualizing your best life, your best day. Sorry, I have a comment. This doesn't have anything to do with me, sir. Gamer257. That doesn't have anything to do with me. So I don't know what you're talking about. You're messing up my flow. Oh, distractions, and that's okay. Sometimes distractions will be sent your way as a test to see how you're going to deal with different things that may come into your life. So just like as you all may have seen who are on this live with me, someone posted a comment. I don't know what they're talking about, so I'm just going to let it go. Let me make sure that I confirm add. All right. Hold on, let me go here. All right. So I just had to block them. So I apologize. Let's get back to the visualization. So with the visualization, you're going to think about what your best day, what your best life is going to look like. So you're going to close your eyes. You're imagining that you are waking up in the morning. What does your bedroom look like? If you could have any type of bedroom, what would it look like? You're going to think about that. You're then going to get up. You're going to go to your bathroom. What does your bathroom look like? Are you sharing the home with anyone? Are you married? Do you have kids? Things like that. You leave out of your bedroom and you go into your kitchen. I don't know, maybe you're getting your water, your coffee, your tea, maybe you're grabbing something to eat. What does your kitchen look like? What does your refrigerator look like? What are all of the things that are in your refrigerator, right? Do you have a house maybe where you're able to see your living room or what have you? Is the TV on? What's on the television? What does your couch look like? When you look out the windows from your kitchen or your living room, what do you see? You're visualizing how you want your life to be. Now visualize that you've gotten whatever you've needed out of the kitchen and you go sit down on your couch and you open up your phone and you're looking at your bank accounts. How much money is in your bank account? When you open up your phone, your main account, how much money is in there, right? How does that make you feel? When you see all that good old money, how does that make you feel? And focus on that feeling through this whole visualization. You have to focus on how you feel, right? Because like attracts like. So if you are feeling like, oh my God, I feel like $1 million. I have this amazing home. I have $13 million in my bank account. Then the universe is going to catch on to that feeling. It's going to link with you, and then it's going to start trying to bring you what the energy that you're sending out, right? So it's literally the law of attraction, right? Like attracts like. So you guys do that visualization with everything, set your intentions, do your visualizations, but I digress, okay? Now, the second thing, or the third thing that you can do to keep yourself from, or the third thing that would keep you from allowing yourself to change, things that are keeping you in victim mode, right, is that your dream isn't big enough. You may just be like, oh, I just want to be like the supervisor. And there's nothing wrong with this, but you're just like, I just want to be a supervisor someplace and make a little bit more money. And the universe or your higher self is like, but you're worth so much more than just being someone's supervisor. You're worth being the CEO. You are worth creating your own company. You are worth, matter of fact, you are worth living such an amazing life that everything just is a life of ease. And you don't ever have to go into the office. Every piece of work that you touch, you're sitting on the beach. Anything is possible. There is no glass ceiling for anything that you want to be. You just have to put your mind to it, and you have to just work towards your goals. Work towards the change that you want to create, right? Another thing that can keep you into victim mode is that you're letting your fear be bigger than you. You are letting your fear be bigger than you. And remember, I said that fear is a fugazi. Fear is not even real. Okay? You don't believe that you can do it. You don't trust yourself. You put everyone else before you, and you'd rather tolerate severe pain than face temporary discomfort. You would rather stay in something that you know and that you're used to than stepping out and all right, so I'm having this vision that someone is willing to stay in a relationship that's abusive instead of, for a temporary short moment, living in an environment that they're not necessarily used to, whether if it's a homeless shelter or you know, having to move back with a parent, or even having to like do van life for a little bit. But let me just say this. The temporary discomfort, again, is temporary. Continue to living in severe pain in a life that you're just used to can be, again, a lifetime. So you can take the opportunity to decide to live a better life instead of just staying in a place of constant fear, constant agony, constant toxicity. You know, you're literally just walking around on eggshells, pins and needles, because you don't know what the other person is going to inflict upon you that day. Excuse me, I have to drink some water. All right. So another way that you're keeping yourself from falling victim into change, falling victim to the change cycle, is that you are attached to the problem. So what does that mean? That means that you identify as a part of the problem. Your ego and your identity are wrapped around the problem as if you are one, right? And you fear that if you let go of the problem, that you won't have anything to talk about. You won't be relatable to anyone. You know, who would you be if you were no longer the victim of a particular circumstance, and would it be better? These are the things that are keeping you from changing. You know, your identity has been engulfed, enwrapped, you know, mushed in with this particular situation, and you're not quite sure who you would be without the situation. A next thing is that you are benefiting from the problem, right? Not changing. Okay. If you are benefiting from the problem, it basically means that not changing the problem is going to bring you more. Well, you perceive that it's going to bring you more than actually changing. It will allow you to hide any deeper issues that you may be suffering with, right? So I can give you the example of maybe if you are addicted to something, right? And you don't want to stop because you don't know how, or you are fearful of how stopping is going to make you look. How can I explain this? Visually, right, you guys? So you know, some of you know, I get visions and then I have to explain it. So basically what it is, what I'm seeing is like someone wants to quit doing something. But if they quit, they don't know who they will be, like what their personality will look like. They don't know if they'll be the same person. They don't know if they will feel as good without their addiction. Okay? They don't know what their world would look like, what it would feel like, what it would be like if they were no longer doing or a part of whatever it is that they're doing. Again, this goes back to they are attached to the problem. And lastly, failure no longer has to be an option. So neither does doing nothing and staying stuck where you are. So if you're facing a potential change, right? I'm just trying to read off my notes. I kind of scribble these down. If you're facing a potential change, it may take some time for you to self-reflect. You're going to have to do some planning. You're going to have to be brutally honest with yourself about why you even want to change. Is your desire for more fulfillment, happiness, right? Are you trying to, just be strong? Are you willing to encounter the obstacles and endure the fear, right? Sometimes change can be really scary because you don't know the outcome. Like, visually, you may see, or you may want to see, like, this is how I want things to be, but there's going to be some obstacles along the way. There's going to be things that you're going to have to face. Your inner demons, your inner child, right? There's things that you're going to have to heal. There's transformation that's going to come, and it may be painful. And you have to be totally honest with yourself. Like, am I willing to go through all of that? And I'm not trying to scare you guys away from anything, because I'll tell you from experience, like, going through the transformation is painful. But once you come out on the other side, you are so much stronger, and you are so much more of a better person. You're more of who you want to be. You're closer to reaching your goals. You are speaking for myself, a lot happier. There's a lot more clarity. There's a lot more peace and more of a desire to be authentic and successful after going through a process of changing pieces of me that I had been so attached to for so many years. Like, for example, like just being like angry. Focusing on all of the, shoulda, woulda, couldas, focusing on all of my regrets, trying to do anything and everything to keep myself from really taking responsibility for the things that I had done in my past. And once I had started to go through this process of transformation, once I started to speak more positively to myself, once I started to release limiting beliefs and understanding that my ego, although it was trying to protect me, it was also going to hinder me from living my best life, because it's stuck in a place of fear, right? It was stuck in a place of only focusing on what I knew and not allowing me or not wanting me to take into consideration, like, I'm more than just my flesh, right? I'm a spiritual being that needs to remember why it was put on this planet in the first place, so that I could do the necessary work, so that, number one, I wouldn't have to come back, but also so that I could help others get through this very, very low density world, right? So with that being said, I want to give you guys some things to reflect upon. All right, it's a self-honesty reflection. So the first question that I want to ask you is, can you see how this change cycle has impacted your life? How have you been impacted by all of the things that are keeping you from changing? And are you ready to stop? Have you ever experienced change amnesia before? What will happen if you continue to not change, right? Like, worst case scenario, what's going to happen? If you don't change and you continue to live the life that you're living, what's going to happen? Are you ready to swallow the pill of self-honesty, even if it is hard, because you are tired of being dissatisfied? Are you ready to take responsibility for your life and create the life you dream of having? If If any of this is resonating with you guys, can you please leave me some likes? Don't forget to follow. Don't forget to leave some comments below. I'd really appreciate that. And lastly, are you at the point where you will accept nothing less than what you truly want? All right. Now I'm going to end there with you all today. Again, I don't like giving a lot of information. I don't like making things difficult. Like, this life is already hard. Let's go ahead and just live in some ease. But at the same time, we're going to put in the work to transform and get through. So, I will be back doing this particular series next Tuesday. Again, I do these transformational series on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday at 10 a.m. Central Standard Time. If you would like to, go ahead and follow me on YouTube as well, because all of these videos will be posted the same day, so that you can watch the replay. All right. So you guys, thank you so much for being here. And again, please feel free to follow me on TikTok and on YouTube at Danae Dominic. Like my videos. Make sure that you guys are getting notified when I'm going live or when I post new projects. And you guys, I hope you have an amazing weekend, and I will see you next week. All right, take care, and as always, I love you.